Welcome to Laden Tea House. Rumors have it that the martial world has been stormy these days, brimming with restlessness. Two major sects are selecting their elites, getting ready for battle. Among them are Shaolin warrior Yilong, the swift Yang Godong with his blade, Wang Zanai from Chenjiagu, and Qin Yilong from the Kongting sect. Has the Juyin scripture abandoned the martial world? What's going on? Everyone has seen it. Just a few days ago, someone practicing Lei Shi Tai Chi took up the challenge in an MMA fight, lasted for mere seconds. Practicing Tai Chi only to get beaten up like a watermelon. This caused various other sects to become restless, issuing challenges in hopes to redeem the reputation of traditional martial arts, aiming to turn the tide and restore some dignity. So, some of you would ask, do you, the host, also study martial arts? Oh, you're asking the wrong person. No, I don't have any particular insights. What can I say? Don't be fooled by the fact that I'm not from the martial arts world, but I do know a few martial artists. Tonight, we'll share a tale about a martial artist encountering a ghost. When did this happen? It was right after I graduated from college, young and full of dreams about becoming a star. I even thought I had a better shot at it than Wang Baoqiang's character in the TV show. After all, I was surely smarter looking and more agile than him. So, in my last year of college, I decided to drop out. What did I do? I loitered around the entrance of the Beijing Film Academy, becoming an extra. The story I'm about to tell happened during my time as an extra. It's different now, as the film and television industry has gradually shifted south, moved to Hongdian where I heard there's even a union for extras. If you want work, you have to register, the union covers your insurance, and the wages go directly to your bank account. This was unimaginable when I was an extra. What I liked to do was to hang around the entrance of the Beijing film studio. Whenever a production crew arrived, it was like, who wants to play a refugee? Let's get 30 people. And that's how we were herded onto the set. I'll go, shouted someone in charge. They pointed at me and said, you can't go, and when I asked why, they replied, I've never seen a 200+ pound refugee. You with your big hump and bushy beard, trying to play a refugee? Get out of here. Oh no, no work for me again. But situations like just now are very rare. Generally speaking, as long as you get there early, before 6:30 a.m., you're almost guaranteed to find work. Time is precious for film crews, they tend to gather everyone early and shoot throughout the day. Another way is to find a good platoon. What is a platoon? As the name implies, it's the leader of the group of extras. This person inside the group is the go-to for the production team instead of having to pick each one individually. For example, if they need 30 extras for a campus scene tomorrow, the production team will contact a platoon, who then finds these actors. They're told where to meet up and what time to put on school uniforms. Then everyone else comes dressed in the student uniform, but I show up in an outdated one and didn't even go. That's a joke. If the shooting location is downtown, you'd take public transport there, but if it's in the suburbs, there usually are shuttle buses. If it's out of town, you can go if there's a K2, but if it's work you found yourself, don't even think about it. Why is that? Typically, once the out-of-town shoot is over, the production team packs up and leaves you behind. You're on your own to find your way back. Seriously, once I took a job far away, felt like it was Xinjiang or someplace like that. When I saw everyone leaving after the shoot, I wondered what to do. I needed to get back to Beijing. I asked around where I was, approached someone sporting a beard and a headscarf, and said, "Fellow, which part of Xinjiang is this?" And the person said, "Xinjiang? This isn't Xinjiang." Then I asked, "Where is it?" It turned out to be Uzbekistan. This wasn't just out of town, it was out of the country, looks like a smooth ride. So, after all this hard work, speaking of the earnings, it's embarrassing to mention. Maybe now the pay is better, but back in the day, how much for a day as an extra? 30 to 40 yuan, never less than 30, but also barely ever more than 40. When would it be more than 40? Night shoots. 50 yuan for an overnight. And how could you earn even more? If you managed to get a speaking role, that's more money, easily 100 yuan, but you really had to be able to perform. They won't tolerate you stumbling over your lines and breaking the scene with laughter. Additionally, you need to be in good terms with the K2 for them to give you that chance. Can you earn even more than that? Talk about extras ends there. To earn more, one must have skills. Isn't there a saying? Master arts and letters, and you can make a fortune serving the imperial family? Since ancient times, people learn martial arts and academics for what? Excellency in studies leads to a climb up the official ladder, reaching high positions. Just look at how popular Secretary de Kong is these days. Secretary de Kong is currently very popular. So, can practicing martial arts lead to success? It's not convenient to speak about the upper echelons. But just look at the bodyguards of business tycoons, aren't they valued in the thousands because of their exceptional martial arts skills? Take Jack Ma's personal bodyguard, Li Tianjin, for instance. He's exceedingly skilled, capable of taking on more than a dozen people alone. That's why Jack Ma just needs him when he goes out. Wang Jianlin's bodyguard is known as the fitness package. Called Wei Feng, who practices wrestling to stay in shape. Remember how Emperor Kangxi subdued Ao Bei by training 13-step treasury guards? Similarly, Wang Jianlin is accompanied by 13 bodyguards when he steps out. As for Li Ka-shing's bodyguards, dubbed tools, that's a bit more complicated. When Li Ka-shing travels, he's escorted by over 80 bodyguards. Why is that? In 1996 his son was kidnapped, which terrified him. Since then, when Li Ka-shing travels, he brings along more bodyguards than even Emperor Kangxi would in plain clothes and traveling incognito. So, being a bodyguard is one path for martial artists. Another path is performance, showcasing your martial arts skills with precision. Watching experts spar often has significant aesthetic value, unlike martial arts performances where the spectacle of all the moves and styles truly captivates the audience. So, this second path is what we're talking about today, being a Wu Sing, a martial artist performer. Of course, even martial performers are ranked in terms of prestige. You shouldn't underestimate the martial arts schools, like Shaolin and Wudong. These are privately run, but the real high-level, legit paths are still the martial arts majors from regular sports universities. They're the proper route, participating in national and international competitions, joining provincial and municipal martial arts teams, where talent scouting starts from scratch. Below that are the private martial schools we've mentioned, which also have their benefits. Those capable of running a school often have certain social resources, otherwise, their advertisements wouldn't promise guaranteeing teaching, mastery, and placement. After training, students need job placement, so these school graduates often join bodyguard companies or get arranged performance opportunities. Then there's a level even below that, and that's pretty much the end of the line. This group includes those who practiced by themselves at home, without a mentor, not knowing anyone in the field. They're essentially no different from us extras, but once a production needs someone in a pinch, you can't guarantee they won't drop the ball. They might suddenly need someone with real fighting ability. At these times, this group earns more than we do. I asked around. I was earning 30 yuan a day, but this person earned 80, albeit for playing inconsequential roles. It's very difficult for them to rise above their station. So, the story for tonight is one I heard during my time mixing with film crews. Which one, you ask? Surely you all know it. Have you ever watched Dad, Where Are We Going? On Hunan TV? There's a place called Lingshui Scholar Village. It's a 1,000-year-old ancient village in Muntogo, now a tourist attraction. You can go there for any restaurant, rural tourism, it's all available. But back when I was filming, this village was quite ordinary, not many people around, and all the young people had gone out to work, leaving only the elderly in the village. What show was I filming? It was the version of the myth starring Hu Ji. You should look at episode 11, the one with a bunch of us chasing the car. That's me in the car chase scene. I'm embarrassed to say it, but it was sweltering hot. You see the assistants of the leading actors setting up folding chairs, opening umbrellas, finding a shady place to rest, while us extras sat on the ground like migrant workers, hoping to get a bit closer to them, sharing the shade. I just listened to today's story. But who told it? It was one of those martial artist performers. They talked about the main character of this story, whom I don't know, have no idea who he is, but they called him Brother Feng. So we'll call him Brother Feng too. They said when Brother Feng first joined the industry, he was exactly like those lowest tier action actors, unable to get a gig. Why? Because who trusts you with weapons and martial arts skills if no one knows your character or abilities? You see those action scenes, a bunch of people fighting, layer upon layer. As if everyone knows a thing or two about fighting. In reality, the actors in the innermost layer must be in close-up and real, substitute with stunt doubles for wider shots. The circle around the lead actor consists of martial artists who are with the crew. And one layer beyond that are the temporary martial artists, the furthermost ones are the extras. A swarming mass with props, who aren't actually allowed to move forward. So at that time, Brother Feng was still just an extra, anxiously watching others fight in the front, wondering when he could move closer to the center. After wrapping up for the day, he would go back in the evening and ponder on his own. And if the film crew had a long shooting schedule, they'd arrange accommodations. Once upon a time, it was already past 11 at night when work finished up, and everyone and everything were shuffled back. By this time, it was the middle of the night, and Feng Ji couldn't sleep as he was feeling restless. So, he sat in the hotel courtyard and started smoking. It was then that he noticed someone practicing martial arts in the yard. Walking over, he was impressed. Wow, those moves are skillful, soft as cotton when striking, yet as solid as iron. This guy's definitely trained. It turned out the person was a stuntman from the crew. Seeing Feng Ji, the stuntman greeted him enthusiastically, "Lei ho. You're from Hong Kong too, right?" Feng Ji replied with admiration, "Lei ho, Lei ho. I was just watching your boxing. You're really good." The stuntman asked Feng Ji if he knew any martial arts. "Not much," Feng Ji replied, "just some basic stick moves." The stuntman offered, "How about I teach you some moves?" Feng Ji was thrilled at the offer. An opportunity to be taught by a fellow stuntman was rare indeed. So it was settled. Every evening after work, Feng Ji would learn martial arts from this guy. And during the day he would even practice eagerly if there was a chance to perform. One day, a director announced that they needed someone brave enough to do a shot riding a sedan chair, flying between two buildings. But there was a problem: stuntman skills aren't the same as car stunts. Someone might jump from 4 stories high, but not dare to do a car stunt like that. And they couldn't wait to hire a top-grade stunt performer. Amidst everyone's indecision, someone suggested, "Hey, what about that extra, Xiao Feng? He seems quite capable and eager. Why don't we ask if he's up for it?" The props team had everything calculated. The only thing needed was to hit the gas pedal hard. And the jump should be possible. Just a bit risky, that's all. Some asked why they didn't do it themselves if it was so simple. The fear of crashing was real. So they decided to ask him. The director pulled Feng Ji aside and said, "Young man, I see potential in you. We've got a shot that pays $800, interested?" Feng Ji responded without hesitation, "A chance to be on screen? Forget 800, I'd pay you that much just for the opportunity." "What kind of shot is it?" "Car stunt," the director exclaimed. Up on the roof, Feng Ji looked down. "My goodness, that's high. My legs are trembling, one slip and I'm a pancake." But then he thought, fortune favors the bold. Isn't that why everyone calls Jackie Chan Big Brother? He's the real deal. And so Feng Ji accepted the challenge with determination. "Let's do it." So, everything was ready to shoot a car stunt scene, but the timing was very tight. Right when Feng Ji sped up and twisted the throttle, his feet sweated and slipped inside his shoes, making it tough to grip. Any driver knows that if the gears are up but the brakes don't keep up, the car won't have enough power. Now, we had a problem. Forcing the stunt with insufficient power meant he definitely wouldn't make the jump. Braking was an option, but they were already too close to the action point, and it would still result in a fall if they brake now. Everyone from the crew realized something was wrong with the car. It wouldn't meet the requirements, which was a pain for the film. Some asked if they felt sorry for Feng Ji. No, they were actually worried about the money. If an actor dies, the crew has to pay. What's the producer there for? To handle the finances. Everybody watched with bated breath. Some were too timid to look. But just as Feng Ji took off and was meters away from the landing spot, already falling, everyone witnessed an invisible force give Feng Ji a nudge. With that extra push, he landed hard at the intended spot. Meanwhile, a bicycle ignited in a panic-inducing flame after an explosion below. At that moment, everyone stood up. There was no applause, they were all too astonished by what happened. It looked as if he was about to fall, but suddenly, mid-air, something seemed to push him. The director immediately checked the continuous shooting camera, curious about the incident. Although the camera recorded the whole process, the frames showing Feng Ji's second jump were blocked by an overexposed white spot. When Feng Ji returned to the set, the martial arts director, Cao Rong, approached him. "What happened just now?" he asked. Feng Ji replied, "I don't really know. I shifted gears incorrectly and was about to fall, but then some force pushed me. It saved my life." Relieved, everyone exclaimed that it was good he was fine. Cao Rong asked, "Do you know any martial arts?" "I knew some before, and after joining the group, I learned a bit more from the stunt brothers." "That's good. You have guts. From now on, you're going to train with my stunt team. How about that? Director Cao, I couldn't ask for more. So, what martial arts do you know? I know 1 fist, 2 origin fist, 3 reclining fist, 4 directional blow fist, crossing family fist, 5 battle fist, 5 tiger climbing mountain fist, 6 harmony fist, 6 harmony 8 methods fist, 7 saint fist, 7 star protected fist, 8 immortals fist, 9 swords extreme fist, 9 swords flying dragon fist, 10 styles internal external fist, 12 hook fist, 13 precious fist, 13 Shaolin grasping fist, 18 internal flipping fist, 24 forking horse fist, 36 dagger fist, 72 horizontal fist, little rock fist, and 108 arhat fist. Hold on, who taught you this arhat fist? Wow, Director Cao, you really know your martial arts, Feng Ji said with admiration. Of all these techniques, I've only recently learned this arhat fist. And it wasn't taught to me by an outsider, but by a fellow stuntman in our crew, after work every night. Which stuntman? Is he from Hong Kong? Inquired Cao. Short cropped clothes, black pants, a white tank top. It's strange that I never see him during the day. Oh right, he said his name is Adong. As soon as Feng Ji spoke the name, Director Cao jumped. Adong? Does he have a scar under his left eye? That's right, exclaimed Feng Ji, puzzled by Cao's reaction. Go tell the documentary crew to buy some offerings. Dong, he's back. But how? Dong was a former action actor in the crew, always giving his all but never made it to the big time. Times have changed since the days of Jackie Chan, when stars did their own stunts. Nowadays, actors just strike a pose, and stuntmen do all the action. That's why there's a gap today. The action stars are the same old Donnie Yen and Zhao Wenzhou, with the younger Wu Jing being an exception. Someone wondered about Xu Xiaolong. Sure, he's up and coming as a youth, but does he have the draw of Chris Wu? Not really. So what we see on screen, 2 stars fighting, is actually just their faces. The action is all done by doubles. Yet, the audience believes it, praising their idols for working hard. It's rather the sweat of their grandfather's legs. This very culture diminishes the number of people pursuing a career as stuntmen, making it hard for those truly skilled in martial arts to stand out. And so, Dong had died on set during a car chase stunt gone wrong. Now, after Feng Ji's miraculous survival and someone secretly passing on martial arts, it seems the deceased Dong lent his energy from beyond, contributing to the craft he loved. After all, the arhat fist was a family heirloom technique unique to Dong's lineage. Given these facts, it's undeniable that Feng Ji followed Cao director's stunt team, continuing to work across various film sets. Over half a century, the stuntman profession has been pivotal in Chinese language films made in Thailand, spawning legends like Jackie Chan's stunt team, Lu's stunt team, and Hong's stunt team. While their successes become widely known, the fame often overshadows the daily pain and uncertain latter years faced by the ordinary stuntman. How many are as fortunate as Feng Ji?